Hello, hackers. This is Rhinofish. I am a Sudanese pen tester, blogger, and amateur Python charmer. I created a tool called KERnano. It is actually a multi-tool. It has 10 different tools in there. It is a no-install Python tool for both Windows and Linux. Reason I decided to create it, other than, of course, learning a bit more about Python programming, is I needed something that I would be able to use offline and something that could be mobile. So I just took many of the tools that I ended up using when doing CTFs or doing engagements and whatnot, and decided to put them all together into a smallish tool. So since it has so many tools, I'm not going to be able to demonstrate all of them, but I will be demonstrating a few of them for you here today. So if you look at the screen, I am on a Windows machine currently, so I am running this executable. So again, no install, so just double click it and it's up and running. And we'll be using this demo file here to demonstrate some of the things. So one of the first things that I will be using on here is the word lister. The reason I'm going to do that is because it's actually kind of a 2-for-1, where when I run it, not only would it be able to create a word list for you out of the PDF or the text file that you give it, but before it does that, it actually extracts it. So since I am using the PDF here, then it will extract the text. So it will be doing the job of the text extractor from the PDF kit here. So instead of just doing that and then doing the word lister, I'm just going to do that. So that way you kind of see both of them at the same time. So we're going to hit 4, which takes me to the menu for the word lister. I will choose 2 for a PDF file. And as you see, pops up a window for you to choose whichever file that you're going to be using or that you want to create a word list out of. And we'll be choosing this one. And once I hit open, if you keep your eye on this window here, you'll be able to see the text files as they're being generated. So I'm going to hit open. And as you see, first thing it did was create the PDF. It says PDF extracted, so extracted PDF. And then it went through that PDF. So over here, if you open up this PDF, you will see page 1. And this is the information that I created. This is just like a 2-page thing that I created. So you have page 1 and page 2. And if you open up the word lister, this is basically all the words. Basically what it does is it gives you no duplicates. It takes out all special characters. It takes out numbers. So this is just purely each word that was found, but only once. So since we have that here, so now you've seen that. Now we're going to be mainly using this file to do all the other cool stuff that we want to do. So one of the things that I always ended up doing, especially doing a lot of CTFs, is we run into a lot of base64 encodes. And of course, I would have to either go to CyberChef or look for a base64 decoder. But again, since I wanted to be able to do something offline, because a lot of times I would like to do VMs when I'm offline, just so that I'm able to work locally, I wasn't able to do that. So I was able to create, using Python, the base64 encoder decoder. So we're going to do that next. So let me go back to the KERnano menu. And the base64 is the B64 tool here. So let me go into that toolkit. And over here, it's number 2. And it asks you if you want to encode or decode, because you're able to do both. In this case, I will be decoding. And I'll be copying over this. And of course, in CTF fashion, it is in leet speak. So I will be taking that and deleting it. So over here, I'm going to say no, because I do not have another one. And we'll go back out to the KERnano menu. And over here under general tools, as you see, there are 3 tools in here. There's the deleter. So let's go to 3. And then we will go to the deleter. And again, with this, you also have the option of either deleting or deleting. So I'm going to delete. And I'll type that in. And it is, of course, Holy Vegan Cheeseburgers Batman, because why not? So now that we have that, another cool feature that I have here that I really enjoyed, as you see as part of what I had here in the demo, the second page has these 3 URLs. So what I'm going to do at this point is I will grab these 3 URLs. I'm just going to create a little text file here. We'll call it URLs. And I will just paste them, save. So basically imagine yourself that you found this PDF during an engagement and it has these URLs or IP addresses or anything. So this is kind of like a walkthrough of what you can use the tool for. So let's go back to the main menu, and I will be going to the URL checker, which is again in the Pentest tool section. And it is here at number 3. With the URL checker, you have the option of checking a single URL, or if you have a text file with multiple. In our case, of course, we have the URL text, which has multiple ones. So we're going to go with that option, which is number 2. Ask you to put in the name, urls.txt. And is going to go through all the URLs that are in there. And what it does is it checks first if it is active or if it's up. And the second thing it does is it checks if it has SSL enabled or not. And at the end, not only does it give you the result on the screen, like over here it says there were 2 live sites. One has SSL enabled and one was HTTP enabled. But it also, if you look on this window, it actually would give you a text file with those files. So if you had multiple URLs in there, some SSL enabled, some are not, it will separate those and it will give those to you. And over here, this was the one that was SSL enabled, and this was the one that was not SSL enabled. And I know some of you are saying, well, there were 3 sites in there. That is correct, but that one in the middle literally says not a site .xy. So it wasn't an actual website. So it checked, said not a real website, didn't even bother to do anything else with it. So this can come in handy where now that you know that there is a site that is not SSL enabled, and you decide, okay, maybe that's the one that you want to target. Well, that's where this next tool can come in very handy. Because one thing that happened to me, or that happened to me often, was there are certain commands that I ended up using multiple times. But of course, being with every different engagement or every different CTF, there are different URLs, there are different IP addresses and whatnot. And I had to manually go in, even though I had a small text template, I would have to manually type in those IP addresses, my IP address and the target's IP address, so that I could be able to use things, like mmap and GoBuster and whatnot. So I decided to automate that whole part just to make things a bit easier. And that is the helper tool. So if I go back to 1, and over here, number 1, it is the helper tool, which is a helpful Linux commands. And this is how it's going to work. I'm going to hit 1. What it does is it's going to ask you for 2 things. It's going to ask you for the target's IP. So let's say the target IP is 10, 10, 10, 10. And then it's going to ask for my IP, and that is 20, 20, 20, 20. Then you hit enter. And then what it's going to do is it has pre-coded commands that I normally use. So what this is going to do is going to give me a text file that is going to have all these commands with the IP addresses already interjected into there, so that I can just copy and paste into my terminals and whatnot. And as you can see from the screen here, it has things like nmap, masscan, kite runner, if you're doing API fuzzing, Nikto, GoBuster, enum for Linux, Hydra, other IP commands, reverse shell commands, because I can never remember those, and the basic steps to do a Python HTTP server command. And if you look here, here's the file, so helper_file. And if you open it up, here's the commands, and here's so anywhere that the target IP address would need to go, it would put that in there. So a lot of these commands, for mmap, masscan, and whatnot, as you go down, it shows you, like over here, there's the Hydra, SSH, the FTP commands, and the further you go down, for example, for reverse shell, there are certain commands that you would need your IP, so it would automatically interject that as well. So that's why it was asking for both the target as well as your IP address. And this was actually the first tool that I ended up creating to kind of help me test quicker, because it took me like maybe 2 or 3 minutes to have to go through all of this and put in the correct IP addresses and whatnot. So I just simply decided to automate that portion to kind of get that out of the way. And so that is the helper tool. Now, as I mentioned here, and of course, yes, it gives you the option to do, if you have multiple IPs, you can do that. It'll just, add them to the bottom of each one. So it'll be one file, but it will have all the commands with the correct IPs that you've put in there. So as I mentioned, this is just a few of the tools that are there. I won't be going through all of them, because that will definitely take more than 20 minutes to do that. But hopefully, if you've enjoyed the tool, you can actually go to KERnano.com. It is open source. It is up on GitHub. If you go there to KERnano.com, if you go to the download page, you'll be able to go to GitHub. I do have a notice here. I'm still working on some kinks. I'm just doing this on the side just for fun and for hacker creds, hopefully. So hopefully you've enjoyed this tool. So I just want to say thank you so much to the Toolshed for having me. I want to give a big shout out to my good friends Syntax and Luna for helping me make this presentation available for you guys. Sorry I wasn't able to be there in person or virtually live. I would have loved to be able to do that and to meet everyone. Again, this is Rhinofish. Please feel free to go to KERnano.com. It will have my contacts. It has everything you need to know about the tool, and even different ways of supporting the development of the tool. And please feel free. If you can help make it better, please go ahead and go do so. Thanks so much, and enjoy the rest of your con.
That's wonderful.
Holy crap.